Welcome back. We're still with Philip Stein, global watch brand founder, Will Stein, talking about his insights on money and now on personal finance. Personal finance angle, Will. Before we left, you were telling me about how the firm is actually a mid-sized corporation. It is not yet publicly listed, correct?
No, it's not publicly listed.
And that is not the direction you want to take?
It's not the direction for several reasons.
Go ahead.
One of the reasons is when you're a publicly listed company, your work product is for your shareholders. It's not anymore the vision of a brand, how to build a brand. That's one of the things. And the other thing is we are a company which is self-financed. We
expound on that.
Yeah, we don't borrow money from the banks. We don't have any debt. And I think that's a very important factor because, you know, it can happen very quickly that things turn around and change. Like, for example, in 2008, when the financial crisis happened, a lot of companies went bankrupt because they were over-leveraged, etc. We didn't have that problem. There was no bank calling us and say, okay, we call on your loan now.
Right, which is very rare in the business scene and even in the personal finance scene. So how did that happen for you? Where did that thinking come from, Will?
Well, this thinking, I think it came from my wife. My wife loves to live debt-free.
Fascinating. And where did she get that?
I think it's just her mentality. And but I think it's also both of our mentalities. Well, of course, one of the things when you live debt-free, maybe you don't expand as fast as you want.
Correct.
Because no money is coming in from the outside. But I think you will grow less gray hair than other people. Motto, actually, of Philip Stein is live in tune. So we try to live in tune also financially to have a quiet life and not be in anxieties, you know, for money.
And yet you have been able to build a global brand.
Yes.
And so even from the start, you're saying you never pulled out debt when Oprah finally talked about your brand and you realized more people wanted your product.
No, at that time we had a small line of credit. But then we paid off this line of credit and probably 4 or 5 years later, we just self-financed. So we've been self-financed for the past 7 years.
That's amazing. And off camera, you gave me a principle about the $2 and $1.
Yeah.
Can you help our viewers hear that again?
Yeah. I think that's a very crucial principle for businesses as well as for personal life. Don't spend $2 if you only have $1 in your wallet. And there are many people who do that. But those are the people also who will run into trouble. Try to live debt-free.
Very, very good principle. Now, let's bring that to the home. You did say you have a son, Ben, right? And in your family, is that the way you live as far as your family's finances are also concerned? No credit card debt, for example, no bank loans for house, for car, which many people would actually opt for.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's not only one son, but I married my wife with when she had 6 children.
So 7 children, right? So now you have 7. Okay, so all 7 kids amongst the two and the 2 parents.
Right.
Is that how you run your household?
Absolutely, absolutely. We don't have credit card debts. You know, we don't believe, for example, in a system where you just charge and charge and charge on your credit card and then you pay high interest. You know, we charge on our credit card as well, but it's paid off at the end of the month.
You pay fully at the end of the period. How do you instill that in your children?
Our children live the same way. They are very frugal when it comes to spending. Some are so frugal that, you know, we look like amateurs next to them. But I think it's a very healthy way of living because you can just feel very liberated and not under any pressures.
Do you believe in setting up goals? Because I see you're very big on wellness and making sure everything is whole for the most part. But future, when you look to the future, do you set up goals, for example, even money goals that you want your family to achieve or the business to achieve?
Yeah. We set like 3-year goals. 5 years a little bit too far, but 3-year goals, and then we divide this into 1-year goals, and we you know, look on budget if we are, you know, according to our goals, and if we see any fluctuations, then we try to, you know, go different strategies and to reach those goals. In my personal life, yeah, of course, I also have goals, but those are not money-oriented. Those are not finance-oriented. Those are different goals to be a better person, to give, because when you are blessed and you have a good life, and when you have a good company, a great family, I think it's your responsibility to give back, and that's where I am today.
Do you help instill in your children the idea of goals may not be money related, but you will need money for example, getting their own education, possible trips, preparing for their own home, since you said you're not big on debts.
Yes.
So can you help us learn from that?
Well, in fact, I was brought up like that. I was brought up in Germany by a very traditional family. And my father, he always said to me, look, I will give my last shirt of my back to help you with education. But anything else than education, whether it's driving a car, a motorcycle, going on trips, you are responsible for that. And I think I instill that as well in my kids. Even though we didn't have the finances which I have today when I was younger, so when you're in a different position, it's a little bit more difficult, because the children see that we live a different lifestyle, but still they need to work for what they get.
So how do you manage that? I mean, if they see that you have the means to be able to buy certain things and it's not necessarily given to them, how do you manage that and not cause sort of rebellion and say, Mom and Dad, why are you withholding these things from me? Look at my friends, look at what's happening here, where we're at.
Well, I think they need to see also what we do as people. We give charity, we give donations, we help people who the family knows and who are not in a very good position. So when they see this, they understand that this is a very important part of life, and I think that's how they adapt to that as well.
Okay. Do you have an investment philosophy? Do you actually put your personal finances somewhere to see it grow, or is it primarily in the business?
Our philosophy is you need to focus on your core competence. Our core competence is the watch and well-being industry, and that's where we put our finances in order to grow our company. As I said, we're self-financed, so we don't expand and grow as quickly, but whatever we do today, we want to grow our company further. So the core competence is very important, and not lose focus and say, which at one point I did, and that's the lesson, in fact, I learned, because during the dot-com boom, everybody was investing, everybody was investing in startups and things like that, and so I thought I could do that also, and that took a little bit of money, and started to do some day trading. Well, at the end of the story, I lost all that money.
Oh my goodness.
And I said, you know what, that's not my core competence. And so now it's really focusing on your core competence.
I like that. That speaks to me. You don't have any money invested in stocks or equities. It's really the business.
That's it.
One of the issues that is happening in Asia, and I believe in the Philippines as well, is the next generation. You have 7 children. Are any of them involved in the business?
2 of them.
2 of them. Have you thought far ahead and thought of, okay, when we now pass on the baton to our children, how do we ensure that since it's family owned, there will be no squabbling when it comes to money and finances, especially as they start having their own families and different interests?
That has to do with planning. So, we put together a trust. We have different people who advise us how to put this together so that there will be no quarrels and no arguments, and who gets what and how will it be dealt with, so that that we planned out for.
Let's talk about the future now, Will. What does it look like for you? You've talked a little bit about the line that you're in, and you've said that you want to keep it family, so that you have the control. Anything that people or that you have actually perceived as happening in the next 5-10 years?
Yeah. Well, the future is really exciting, actually. We've been in the business now for 12 years. And as we go along, year over year, and especially working with the Simon Fraser University and with scientists, we discover more and more interesting applications for our technology. I call it the watch is a vehicle to bring out the natural frequency technology. Natural frequencies have not been understood or studied very well, which we are doing, and we are trying to explore new applications for this. So that's really, really interesting in that concept, because after all, we started off as a watch company, but our main goal is to become a company, a lifestyle company which uses well-being and affordable technology to improve people's quality of life. That's as a global statement what the future brings. In terms of the Philippines, if I may say,
Sure.
we've been very fortunate with the Philippines. We love the Philippines because the Philippines they love Philip Stein, and we are very, very fortunate and grateful for this. And so we decided to create a watch line exclusively for the Philippines, and this line is called the Legacy Collection, which will be launched in July of this year. And within this Legacy Collection, we created a limited edition called the Lea Salonga watch.
Oh, congratulations.
Because we collaborated there with Lea Salonga, who is our ambassador, and we collaborated with her on the design, on the look of the watch, and so that will be launched in July 8th.
Oh, very exciting. And so we look forward to that. Any parting words to the Filipinos and the viewers when it comes to things you have learned?
Absolutely.
Through business and finance and even the idea of well-being.
I came to the Philippines the first time I was 20 years old as a backpacker.
Really?
And I love the energy of the Philippines. I love the nature, of course. And every time I come here, ever since, I feel a positive energy of the Filipinos. They're just a very positive people, very happy, very personable, and that's what I love here. The business message to the Filipinos is, on the one hand, yes, don't spend $2 when you have one, but also I think you just need to follow your dreams. If you have a dream and you have calculated risks, follow your dream and pursue it. And don't let anybody tell you, no, it's not working. Because at the end of the day, one of my mottos, which I told my son ever since he was 2 years old, one of my mottos is never give up. If this is your motto, there is no way you cannot be successful. Because if you don't give up, you always try to find a new way, until you reach your goal.
Thank you so much. And the Filipinos are not just resilient in that way. We're all happy people, as you mentioned. So we are happy that you joined us on the show. Thanks again.
Thank you so much.
Will?
Thank you, Edric.
That's our show today. I'm Edric Mendoza. Send us your money questions via email, Facebook, or Twitter. And to view portions of this interview, visit our website, anc.abs-cbnnews.com. Or for the full episode, go to iwanttv.com.ph or log on to tfc.tv. Join us again next time as we sit down with some of the country's prominent and influential personalities and listen to their stories on how they turn challenges into triumphs. Thanks for watching.